Tokyo, New York, Brussels, Beijing, Rome. From the mountains to the valleys, from the deserts to the oceans, and all the ships at sea, you're listening to What Just Happened, podcast out of Los Angeles, California, daily at 12 noon. What Just Happened is Project Wasabi's brief recap of important events from around the world. Today is Monday, June 8th, 2020. This podcast is about 7.5 minutes long. Here in California, high winds caused brush fires and multiple power outages throughout the Southland. So if you've got a smartphone or anything else that needs charging, there's no time like the present. Gratitude and appreciation to the brave men and women of LA County Fire and all fire crews everywhere. Today's strong winds, packing gusts of more than 25 miles an hour, add to that dry air and hot temperatures. You'll hear our weather in just a couple minutes. And you've got the perfect ingredients for rampant brush fires. One such fire broke out about 4 a.m. this morning in Castaic, California, about 40 miles north of downtown LA. Since that time, half a dozen other fires have sprouted up throughout the Southland, as well as multiple power outages. Today's red flag warning issued this morning by the National Weather Service will likely be extended for the next few hours. So while you have electricity, this might be a good time to charge up your smartphone and other electronics. It's been 2 weeks since Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin intentionally killed Minneapolis resident George Floyd, and protests against racial injustice continue throughout the country. Here in Los Angeles, LAPD estimates yesterday's march westbound on Hollywood Boulevard was attended by about 20,000 demonstrators, nearly all of whom lawful and non-violent. Like yesterday's demonstration, today's march in the same area, also organized by Black Lives Matter, just officially kicked off a few minutes ago at high noon. This morning's small earthquake in Ridgecrest registered 4.3 on the Richter scale. Thankfully, minimal damage, and praise God, no one was hurt. Coronavirus Vigil. According to Johns Hopkins University, as of this morning, Monday, June 8th, 2020, just in the United States alone, we have lost a total of 110,514 innocent souls, 712 of whom just in the past 24 hours. The U.S. intelligence community started tracking coronavirus back in November, when its outbreak was first discovered in Wuhan, China. Exactly 1 month ago, April 8th, Fox News affiliate Fox 10 out of Mobile, Alabama, carried this story from CNN, in itself newsworthy. And this is from that article. Quote, "Intelligence is often only elevated to the highest levels of government once analysts and officials reach a certain threshold of confidence in their assessment. In the case of coronavirus, that day came on January 3rd, 2020. The first day the President's daily briefing included information the U.S. intelligence community had gathered about the contagion in China and the potential it had to spread, including to the U.S." Unquote. Similar stories also published by ABC News and Times of Israel suggest this information was included in the PDF earlier. But at this point, even some Fox News affiliates, such as Fox 10 out of Mobile, Alabama, concur the President knew about coronavirus as early as January 3rd, 2020. More as this story develops. This morning in Brussels, Europe, at the launch event for NATO 2030, Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg was asked, considering the events unfolding out of the Asian world over the past year, should NATO regard China as the new enemy?
No, NATO does not see China as the new enemy or an adversary. But what we see is that the rise of China is fundamentally changing the global balance of power. Economic growth of China has fueled economic growth in our part of the world, and it has helped to lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. But at the same time, we see that they are investing heavily in modern military capabilities, including missiles that can reach all NATO allied countries. They are coming closer to us in cyberspace. We see them in the Arctic, in Africa. We see them investing in our critical infrastructure. And they are working more and more together with Russia. All of this has a security consequence for NATO allies. And therefore, we need to be able to respond to that, to address that. And we need to do that by forging NATO as a stronger political alliance. We need to do that by working together with partners, not least in the Asia-Pacific, including Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, which are very close and like-minded partners to NATO. So this was a message coming from the leaders last December, and now we are following up on that when we now address NATO 2030 and the reflection process.
This day in history is a good day for civil rights. June 8th, 1953, 67 years ago today, the U.S. Supreme Court rules in Washington, D.C. versus John R. Thompson Company that restaurants in Washington, D.C. cannot refuse to serve black patrons. Then, on the far side of the planet, exactly 31 years later to the day, June 8th, 1984, in the Australian state of New South Wales, finally, homosexuality is declared legal. Happy birthday wishes going out to singer-actress Nancy Sinatra, who turns 80, guitarist, singer-songwriter Boss Gaggs, who turns 76, and actor, producer, director Griffin Dunne, who turns 65. What Just Happened wishes these good people a happy birthday. Today is also the birthday of U.S. Army Lieutenant William Calley, the man who, on March 16, 1968, unnecessarily slaughtered over 20 unarmed Vietnamese non-combatant civilians, many of whom women and children. Today, alive and well, 50 years after the My Lai massacre, its perpetrator, Lieutenant William Calley, turns 77 years old. And the baby of the bunch, Trump supporter and close personal friend of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, rap artist Kanye West, turns 43. LA weather is sunny and hot. High 80s this afternoon, and today is the cool day. Next few days will raise temps into the low to mid 90s, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and though it's a little early to place bets, by Friday we might be cooling down to the mid 80s. So stay as cool as possible, drink plenty of water-based fluids, and as always, stay frosty, my friends. You've been listening to What Just Happened, a service of ProjectWasabi.com. From Los Angeles, California, podcasting daily at 12 noon on the websites Project Wasabi, Facebook, YouTube, and Podomatic. What Just Happened is our brief recap of significant events from around the world. On behalf of What Just Happened and its parent company ProjectWasabi.com, this is Brian Newberry saying thank you for listening, stay healthy, y salud, and we'll talk to you soon.